What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, a day does not go by without a little Xbox slander. So I have to reply in kind with PlayStation slander. Although this isn't what that is. This is more of something like an Xbox dev, not an Xbox like studio member, but a dev that works with Xbox saying some stuff. This guy is the Moon Studios co-founder or founder or whatever. What was his name again? Thomas Mahoney. I don't know. Thomas something. Mahler, whatever it is. Okay, I think there's three different ways to look at what had happened. Now, everybody's reporting it. They're saying, oh, he's looking for the bag. Basically, he said, because of market conditions, they won't be putting out an Xbox version. They may not put out an Xbox version. They're going to focus on PlayStation and Switch 2. It's already on Steam, early access, I believe. And this is the game No Rest for the Wicked. Anyway, the Moon developer, Ori in the Blind Forest, Ori in the Will of the Wisp. Anyway, so he said a couple of things. He said, actually his first, I guess, 2 tweets were fine. He was like, this is, we have to, see market. First of all, market conditions. Stop using that, because market conditions is just like, because the sky is blue, this is why we're doing it. Like, really, market conditions is it means that you don't have enough money to make the game for all the consoles right off rip. That's what that means. You ain't got no money. That's why you put in early access, so you can get some money from early access to keep funding the. This is the same guy who went on, I think it was Steam or Twitter or whatever, and he begged for people to upvote, give him good votes for his game. After they put out a whack ass patch that broke the game or did all kind of crazy stuff. I didn't play it, but anecdotally, and that's why I got negative reviews. It got reviewed bombed. It didn't get reviewed bombed. It got reviewed poorly because the patch was trash. That's how it works. When you put out crap, you're gonna get crap reviews. That's just it. And so he's crying. He was crying about that. Oh, please. Meanwhile, way back in the day when he was, Moon Studio was working on the Ori games, we hear, tales of horrible work conditions. I don't know if he was a bully, but he would, talk down to his workers, blah, blah, all this defamatory stuff, right? Crunch, all kind of stuff. And he partially admitted to it, kind of saying, wow, we may talk certain ways. I forgot what he said, but I was like, okay, he's not denying it. But, so, I mean, once again, I don't know what was said. I don't know who it was said to, how things can be misconstrued. So I'm not gonna say he did this, he's the evil man. But once again, the first 2 things he said, market conditions, blah, blah, blah. And then the second one was, it's basically, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, we're a small studio, it takes resources, blah, 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 yada, yada, right? We want to put it on all consoles. We're just going to have to be later because, we're a small team, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that sounds sensible to me, right? Here's where the error occurred. I forgot who it was. I mean, I've heard like a couple of shows already mentioned his name. But this person said, no, I'm not going to support a studio or whatever that doesn't put the games on Xbox day one. I'll spend my money elsewhere. Have a nice day. Something like that. It wasn't like disrespectful. It was just like matter of fact, right? And Thomas replies back with, entitled much, Ba 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 da 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 da. You know, and went on and went on. Right. I mean, I think the entitled much was kind of the worst part about it, or and something else about it. But it was like that was the wrong thing to say, because all you have to do is explain in clear English what is going on, and he hadn't, because he's just saying market conditions means, it's like, what does that mean? That could mean plenty of things. You could just say we don't have the money or resources to do all the games simultaneously, so we need to prioritize, which he did say, on blah 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 blah. And he said the numbers, right? Which is another kind of fallacy, because we all know that PlayStation YNs or ONs don't buy games. Just watch the TBH. He's been going on for weeks talking about it. This is ridiculous. But they don't. And just look at the sales number. They say, oh, we sold 88 million, 7 million consoles, right? That's what people are saying, but they haven't, obviously. Then you look at how many games they sold. And I'm like, y'all are making No Rest for the Wicked, which is a game, right? Did you look at the trend of how games actually sell on PlayStation, or are you just looking at the numbers of consoles sold? Because you should look at the games, the games that are selling. And these aren't just like Okie Doke, Black Tiger, whatever, or Legend of the asset flip game. This is Final Fantasy. This is Astrobot, Game of the Year winner, Astrobot. This is all these other games that are supposed to be bangers, but they ain't banging in no sales. So you expect your game, which is a new IP, little tiny game, and it's a rogue. It's a Souls-like with a Diablo camera angle. The art style is unique, but I'm like, roguelike? I'm out. I mean, if it was on Game Pass, I'll try it out. But it's not like, oh, I can't wait to play that. No. And I've seen a lot of people, anecdotally, saying, yeah, I mean, if you're going to treat Xbox like a redheaded stepchild, paraphrasing, then I'm not going to buy your game. I'm going to treat you like a redheaded stepchild. Not to each his own, but, that's how it is. You treat them that way, you get the same treatment. And I'm like, look, if it's on Game Pass, I'll try it. I'm not buying that game. And if all of the things that were said about this dude and the studio environment and all that stuff is true, why do you think Xbox said, peace out, homie? See you, there's a door, see your way through it. Why do you think they said that? They did the same thing to Bungie. Bungie was acting a fool. They were like, yeah, we want to do this, we want to do that, and Xbox was like, yeah, y'all be missing deadlines. Just like this Moon Studios, they miss deadlines all the time. Yeah, how much money you want? No. See that door? Moon is going to go through that in the future, but you're first. Microsoft is not afraid to let you go walk out the door. All right, you could be like, oh, and same. I mean, if you look at the pattern, like Bungie and Moon Studios, like Bungie they were the hotness, right? Oh yeah, they making all these Halo games. Oh snap, every game they make is a banger, blah blah blah. But behind the scenes, how were they operating? Were they efficient? Were they bleeding money? Were they just, you guys are not efficient. You're wasting a lot of money, blah blah blah, da da da, right? Especially now when Expedition 33 comes by, smack, and everybody's like, we got to be like them. And you look at Moon Studios and taking their time. They're still on early access. How long has it been on early access? For like a year or something like that? Nah. Microsoft, if you are not efficient, you out. You see they close a bunch of studios, right? They closed the initiative because they've been lollygagging for 5 years, however long it's been. More than 5 years, probably. I was like, what you got? I was like, that's all you got? Nah, B, you should have a finished game by now. So, y'all out? You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's how you have to be. If you want a successful business in video games, you need to be efficient and you need to be good. Two things. You need to be good, and if you can't be horrible and efficient, because then you're just giving us really promptly made trash. Well, there's a bunch of PlayStation games like that. They put trash on there all day long. I mean, Asset Flip, you want to, oh man. Oof. But nobody talks about those. They should, because they ain't got no games to talk about, but whatever. But yeah, this dude is like, yo, how it doesn't seem right. And like I said, people are saying, oh, he's just trying to get the bag, and how he worded it, you can construe it like that. And I was like, yeah, but then I was trying to flip it and like, okay, how? I mean, he was just trying to say it as a matter of fact, but it came off like he was just trying to, extort some money out of them or something. But I think what it is that, his situation, like trying to be, devil's advocate, his situation is that they can't do all three at the same time. So they're going to concentrate on PS5 for whatever reason, doesn't matter, and switch to, once again, and then Xbox will come, but, at a later date. And in talking to Microsoft, they could say, like, okay, if we had more money, then we could have more people working on the port for Xbox and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing that's weird about that, is that the Xbox version is basically the PC version, because the Xbox version and the PC version are very close. It's Windows after all. All the underlying technology is Windows. Let's not get it twisted. So when porting from PC to Xbox, it's way easier than porting from PC to PlayStation or PC to Switch 2. That's just the fact. That's how it is. It's been that way for a long time. And so it would cost them less money to do that actual port, but still money and time and manpower. So they may be short on all of those things, and they need some Microsoft help. Is Microsoft willing to give them that? I would say probably not, based off of their history, which is Moon Studio, lollygag, take their time, not efficient, toxic work environment, all the things that say to a big corporation, nah, it's not worth it, let them go. I don't care how good their game is, nah. Because they cannot sustain that type of environment, that type of business model forever. They're going to fall down. Right now, they're falling down. Right now, they're like, uh-oh, it's cutting it close, you know what I'm saying? If this game isn't a success, they're probably going to close up shop or just shrink down a lot. I don't know how many people work there, and I don't like to say that lightly, but it's just a matter of fact of things. But I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt as far as how he was saying it, but once again, take into consideration all the other factors that surround that studio, toxicity and all that stuff. They go kick rocks. I hope everybody from that studio bounces and finds better jobs, better employment, better bosses and stuff, bosses. But I don't care how good their games are. It's not helping the industry. It doesn't help the industry when you have bad places for people to work, and then they go out of there and they have PTSD because of these idiots, just doing not great things to the people that work there. And that's not an environment conducive of creativity or anything else. And so, as creative as their games are, I mean, if the work environment was like 1,000% better, like no crunch and all the other stuff, imagine how much better those games would be. They would be AAA top tier, I would say. But because of that like kind of work environment, it does take a toll on the game itself, But whatever. It's crazy. But anyway, I appreciate you hanging around, like and subscribe. Leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Thomas Mahler, the booty head that's I think Boom called him an ass. He didn't call him an ass hat. An ass void, an ass cavity. I don't know. But hey, look, this game is just one game, and the problem, I think, one of the main problems with what he's doing, trying to guilt people into liking his game and all that stuff, was like, that doesn't work with me. First, second, there's so much competition out there right now, only on just on the Xbox side. So maybe that he's just scared to be in the whole sphere of Xbox, which doesn't make any sense because those Xbox games are going everywhere, right? No exclusives. So he still has to deal with that competition. And once again, many people in the industry say that it's not about the games, it's about the time people have to play the games. And there are so many games that people are running out of time to play all the games. And if your game isn't good enough to knock someone else, another game, out of that slot, then you're kicking rocks and nobody's playing it. Unless it's a short game. Then, you know, maybe it'll sneak in there. So that's another factor. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this dodo head. I mean, I'm not, like I said, it comes to Game Pass. I'll try it out, but I'm not gonna buy that. I am going to buy Helldivers 2 only because I want Sony and Arrowhead. That's the name of the studio. Well, I want Arrowhead to reap the benefits and to show and prove that Sony are idiots and they shouldn't have done that PSN requirement stuff. You know, it hindered the success of that game. It hindered the sales. They may get a little bump on Xbox, but they messed up the momentum. They cut it by at least half, I would say. So there could have been hundreds of thousands of people playing that game, but they messed up. So, I mean, is it a lesson learned? I doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate it anyway. Do all the things I told you to do before and after then, before then, before. And I'll check it on the next one. Sweet.